Wow, I am very excited to talk to you guys today about Tron TRX. This is a crypto that I've covered from the start, from its inception, which is a couple years ago now, all the way till here, and I'm still a holder. I am still a TRX holder, but today I want to kind of explain my journey and what is happening to the TRX price right now, why I am still excited about them in the future, albeit a little bit less than before, and we're giving away $100 worth of crypto, and all you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Having said that, on my channel, I have hundreds, potentially thousands, but at least hundreds of videos on Tron. And that's because I used to be really excited about them before they came out, and I still believe that my most watched video ever is about how to shift your coins. So I have a video here, April 2018, talking about Tron, what will happen on June 1st, and a Tron, what will happen May 31st, 2018. Those got viewed a ton of freaking times. People were crazy excited about Tron back then. So yeah, fun little story. My channel used to be completely dominated by Tron content. I used to talk about them every single day, and it was working really well because I loved the coin, I loved the project, and I also had a lot of respect for the founders, respect for the team and whatnot. And very sometimes they actually retweeted my my things, basically my videos, which I really appreciated back then because, well, if the Tron the official Tron Twitter retweets your stuff, it gets you a ton of exposure, right? So that, of course, was amazing. However, that is all one part of the story. Why am I so excited about them? Why did I stick with them for a little while? Well, it's because it was actually one of my biggest cryptos, I guess, in terms of exposure. Since I made a video about them once and people were really excited about them, well, I decided to stick with them and I decided to talk about it more and more. And since they got a mainnet coming up back then, well, it was exciting, it was something new because I didn't really know too much about it back then, about these mainnets launching and about the whole progress. However, what kind of drew me in, what kind of kept me here was, of course, the progress and the promotion efforts that they put in. Mind you, I've been in Tron for a very long time, bro. I've literally witnessed everything since I was here from the start of the start. I've been making videos about them for a very good while. And I've also witnessed a ton of fluctuations in price. I mean, honestly, the price here last year was about 1 cent. Right now, it is 6.5. Going pretty crazy if you talk about the 1 year progress. And the reason I'm saying that Tron still has a lot to go for themselves and why I was always excited about TRX and will stay excited is because I know Tron has crazy marketing features. You might say, Dusty, but aren't you really excited about TRX on its own because of the potential of the crypto itself? No, honestly, not really that much. You might say, okay, but they're a little bit better than Ethereum. I'll give you that. On some fronts, they are better than Ethereum, yet the allegation back in the time and still now is that they just copied Ethereum white paper with a couple of things added and changed. I'm not going to argue that here. I'm not going to say whether or not they did or didn't. I'm only putting that up there that used to be a very big allegation. And that whatever new project they came up with was just stolen from somebody else with slight adjustments. Once more, type in Tron white paper, type in Ethereum white paper, look for yourself, all right? Not going to judge. However, what I find interesting is that Justin Sun and the whole Tron team actually decided to shift their main perspective from promoting Tron like crazy to going for all these different things on top of Tron. And I'm calling it really different from Ethereum because Ethereum, the main focus is always on Ethereum. Regardless of what project is added on there, the main focus is always Ethereum. Yet with Tron, one of the main focuses is also BITRUE since they acquired them. So logically speaking, if BITRUE does good, they do good. And the same thing goes for Just, for example, and Sun. They made all of these things, in my opinion, of course, to profit off of it as well. But they made all of those, and they're excited about all of those. And if you take a look at the market exposure that they all have individually, they're actually really quite big, and they're actually doing really quite good. And also, that really gives another kind of backup, basically, to TRX being a little bit lackluster in comparison to some of the other projects coming up right now. Because once more, TRX/Tron, even though it is quite solid of a project, it's not the best. They definitely don't have the best developers, definitely don't have the most commits or anything like that. They just do their stuff properly, and the Ethereum fees are ridiculous. So if I'm ever in necessity of USDT or whatever, I would definitely use TRX, if that's still a possibility, over Ethereum because the fees are just a lot less, right? I just prefer it that way. However, yeah, what is still left for TRX in comparison to Ethereum? I would say the only good thing is the fees. What else is there? I don't really know why else you would use them because, once more, they're not the most secure in that sense. Also, Justin Sun has been alleged to do a lot of things. He's he used to work for Ripple in the China department. He used to work there. He is very well known for being a very good promoter. A lot of people allege him to have a lot of fake followers over on Twitter. By the way, this is not paid or anything like that. This is just my honest review, honest what's going on with the price, honest what's going on with everything type of video here. Like I try to do every so often about these cryptos because, well, you deserve it. And, you know, with TRX, I would say, yeah, it's mostly the price related to Justin Sun's market activities and the team of Tron, what they can do in terms of marketing. How are they going to get another exposure once more? Because back in the time, Justin Sun used to get 7,000, 10,000 likes for things and, you know, thousands of comments as well. I even have one thing open here. When I used to buy a ton of TRX every so often, I would used to make videos about that too. Here you can see one of the freaking tweets back then had so many thousands of likes because people were really excited about them back then. And they used to be the 11th in the rankings. I think they even got a lot higher somewhere throughout the time. But when I made this video, the price of TRX was also about 8.7 cents. So the difficult part here is what has happened to the price, what is going on with that, and am I still bullish about them? Well, from the perspective of what has happened to the price, when I used to make videos about them, they were at some points even higher in price than they are right now. So that is kind of odd, right? But that's because they had something crazy going on for themselves right around that area back in 2018. Right now, they don't really have anything extremely special going on for themselves, except for the fact that it is a top tier crypto. It's in the top 50, let's call it like that. It's a project that works fine. It has a lot of marketing going on, and they have a ton of other tokens which are based upon there, which give it the popularity, which is basically once more the Ethereum comparison. So even though Tron on its own is not really that perfect, they have the marketing department, for example, Lindsay Lohan, which they deny is paid. I believe it is completely freaking paid, because why else would she do that all of a sudden? And, of course, the part that, well, they have a lot going on top of TRX, and they're trying to build that out. We have BITRUE, which some people are extremely excited for. And BITRUE right in the last couple of days has been one of the best performing tokens out of the entire crypto market. So, yeah, they got some stuff going for themselves. And as they keep acquiring more things, they keep really purchasing these things or integrating them, yeah, there's definitely a good chance they'll keep expanding too, even though the platform, as I just said, is really not the best. However, then it begs the question, what's going to happen to the TRX price specifically? Well, I would say there's no real incentive or necessity for the TRX price itself to spike up. But then again, that also spikes the question, should the Ethereum price ever spike up? Should the Ethereum price really go up? Because nobody really uses it to pay normally. It is mostly just for everything that's built on top, because Ethereum is extremely expensive to pay with, except for example, now with the NFTs and whatnot, people use it because, well, that's the currency which they are based upon. So that's basically one of their only options that they got, which is kind of universal. However, on TRX, all that stuff would of course be cheaper since you don't have the ridiculously high fees. And that begs the question, you know, Ethereum is going up mostly because of what is built on there. Tron itself, again, pretty stupid. However, everything that's built on there is built so extravagantly, they have so much and they bring so much attention to itself that I do kind of wonder, is that not something that could keep taking the price upwards? And their marketing efforts, which have worked for years now, it's still in the top 20. For example, this was such a big hit. This got so many people to look at them and look into them and whatnot. Is that not also something that's going to keep them afloat for just the future and just into the, I don't know, other dimension? And then another one is a BitTorrent success, for example, going to uplift TRX's success? Another question that you could really ask yourself. Some others are talking about Just or Clever, which is getting really popular, as things that are going to keep taking TRX upwards. And it could all be. You know, the honest, difficult thing is, whenever people come up to me with USDT as well, they're almost always referring to Tron Tether because, well, it's just a lot cheaper than Ethereum. And people don't really care where they use Tether on. But that's also another kind of part in using TRX or using Tron. It has some good points. Tron takes aim at Ethereum NFT market with launch of its TRC 721 standard. Is that really interesting? Well, debatably. Are they better than Ethereum in a lot of different ways? Yes. Does that mean they'll keep growing? Debatably, once more. It's all such a big debate because we don't know exactly what is pushing the price up regardless. We only know they're good at marketing. We only know they are better than Ethereum in terms of fees. We all know they're trying really hard to steal the developers away, which they've succeeded in for a very good while in different scenarios. So, yeah, why would the price go down? Only because people notice then that TRX is not that special. But then again, that brings the question, is Ethereum then so special? It's the first, but really not the best. So it's a really difficult situation. Am I waiting for a couple dollars per TRX? No. Do I think $1 per TRX in the future is ever possible? I would say yes. And am I excited about the future in the process? Yes, because they are still better in a lot of ways than Ethereum is, mostly due to the fees, and they have a marketing genius working for them, or at least is the head of them, and they might acquire a ton of different companies, and they might actually take over the DeFi or NFT realm because, well, they try their best and they sometimes will achieve, especially if they have a lot of money to play around with and most likely the proper connections. I mean, whoever thought they would buy BITRUE? We were really talking about it back then as well. That was kind of a joke. And then all of a sudden they really did it. And all of a sudden that token is actually doing good. When back then it used to be freaking screw all to purchase it. I actually bought a ton of it back then. I sold it a little bit later at some profit. But look at how time has flown as well. How cheap it used to be and look where we're at right now. If I just filled my bags like crazy, which was really quite simple, that would have been a nice return. However, you never know that for certain, right? You never know that for certain. Even now. Should we buy more? Should we go crazy on BTT? It could be ridiculously cheap, yet if you look at the total supply, there's a freaking ton of it. But then again, if you take a look at the market cap and how high it got, it's already way past everything that I could have ever imagined. So from that perspective, I think BTT is going to be just growing and growing as time goes on because it's really something quite unique. And that might also uplift TRX and Tron. And that's also the same situation for some of these other projects built on top of there. Those are what might take TRX upwards. And yeah, I'm excited about those, gotta be honest. Tron itself, I'm gonna say it has most to do with just the projects built on there, because otherwise, what else is there? Has Justin Sun ever given away the Tesla? Debatable. Are there some other giveaways which are kind of shady? Once more, you go explore it for yourself. I'm just putting out whatever I've seen throughout these years, and I'm saying I shifted from being a huge TRX fan to a mediocre fan, because it is kind of okay, but the biggest benefit of Justin Sun, the powerhouse marketing efforts are kind of over, as once more, they've actually deteriorated over the last couple of years. And with XRP, I'm making an exemption because they're being sued. With Tron, there's really no big exception or exemption as to why they've actually gone down throughout these years, except for the fact that the marketing is kind of worn off and people are kind of tired with them, something like that. Once more, I still hold TRX, so I'm not fully against it. I even have some old TRX, which is basically TRX before they went over to their newer mainnet. Pretty fun story about how TRX came to be, the token into the own coin. Really fun story. I think some of my videos are still public from 2018 though. It's really funny because I used to love it so much, guys. I used to love it so freaking much. I've spent so many countless hours just researching and looking into it because I was so excited about them. But yeah, it's always fun in my opinion to take a look at the past as well and see how excited we could have been about TRX and how things have kind of turned out. Because you never know with these cryptos, man. You never really know. You never really know. That's something that we do know. Yeah, that was it for today's video, though. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Go check out GSX. A link is down below. It is the world's first growth coin, a gold-backed crypto. And even though I know we might lose all our money, that's the way that investing sometimes goes, I'm hoping to 20x my money, 25x, 50x, something like that, just something crazy, because the risk to reward is looking good for the first I guess growth coin and the gold-backed crypto. I just think it's rather interesting. Right now it is 10 cents a coin, plus a 5% bonus, plus a 5% bonus if you use my link. And once more, a link will be down below. It is pretty interesting in my opinion.